Good evening, friends and comrades, and happy International Workers' Day. My name is Stefen Sydowski. I'm the president of the Vancouver and District Labour Council. We are a Canadian Labour Congress chartered Labour Council located in Vancouver, British Columbia, and representing roughly 100 affiliated local unions and 60,000 union members in Vancouver and the surrounding municipalities. And I've been asked just to share some of my own thoughts about May Day this year for your event in Toronto. Of course, we too are gathered this evening to mark this historic May Day, the 130th May Day, and also falling in the 100th anniversary year of the Winnipeg General Strike. And so the theme of our celebration and our march and rally this evening is Unite to Strike, talking about both the unjust trampling of the rights of postal workers last fall by the Liberal government with their back to work legislation, but also talking about the broader right to strike, the right to strike for non-union workers, the right to strike for workers over political causes, over climate action, over other issues. And so these are rights that exist in other places in the world and that we feel are inherent and that must be recognized in Canada as well. But of course, it's also an opportunity today to look back on the history of May Day and look back on the lessons of our movement over its past, 130 years and beyond. Obviously, that also includes looking at the struggles that we're facing today as workers here and around the world, struggles for living wages, for pensions, migrant rights, decolonization, for healthcare, education, pharmacare, against privatization and so forth. And although these may seem like a collection of disparate struggles, they are, of course, all intertwined and connected. And one of the most important things, I believe, for us to keep in mind and remind ourselves of on May Day and going forward is that interconnection and that need for all workers to join together, to support each other in their struggles, and to organize the class for a better society. Of course, in the years since the first May Day, or in the years since the Winnipeg General Strike even, there have been many victories for workers' rights and for equality in our society, and those should be celebrated as well. But on the other hand, just the past year alone has continued to provide example after example of the importance of not forgetting the lessons of the struggles before us and not becoming complacent and comfortable, because in fact today we may be living in one of the most dangerous times, or the most dangerous time even, that's been faced by our society. We face the threat of climate change and an apparent inability by those in control of our for-profit system to take any meaningful action to curb this phenomenon. We face the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and of wars, of regime change agendas and far-right governments throughout the world. And on that note, of course, the rise of fascistic, xenophobic, anti-worker regimes such as those in the United States, in Brazil, in the Philippines, Ukraine, and elsewhere. And we shouldn't fool ourselves in thinking that Canada is exceptional, that we can't be also a victim of this. We are going into an election cycle currently. We are seeing a time when the Conservative Party, shifting further right, is positioning itself to take power from the Liberals in the face of their corruption scandals in recent months, and that there are other organizations that are taking shape, trying to fill a space on the far right, whether it be a People's Party in the parliamentary sphere, or whether it be groups like the so-called Yellow Vest movement and things like that are offering to people a solution that is no solution at all, a solution that's based on turning workers against workers, rather than uniting us to fight for a better world. But people are looking for solutions. And of course, people are angry and looking for answers. They're not satisfied with timid platitudes or proposals anymore. They want real change. And that, of course, is also a product of the fact that wealth continues to be concentrated increasingly at the top of our society, and people are feeling the squeeze. It's harder and harder to get by. We live in a more unequal society today than the Winnipeg strikers of 1919 did, and that is a startling reality. So there's a real danger that when that change comes, what form will it be in? And it's up to us to make sure that we provide the leadership and the hope and the organization for people to fight for a new and progressive society. History has offered us examples of where this hasn't come to fruition, and the very disturbing results that have formed. So I think it's critical that we take this opportunity today then to reflect on how we can all better support one another, how we can break down any divisions that may exist to building unity amongst workers, and how we can imagine and begin to build a different type of society, not based on a for-profit model, but based on solidarity. The type of society that will actually work for workers, for people, not for profit. And so I hope that you have a great celebration there for May Day in Toronto. Thank you for the opportunity to share a few thoughts with you this evening, and we're standing here with you in solidarity.